पिछले सप्ताह में यानी पिछली कैबिनेट के बैठक में एक बड़े सुधार के तहत राष्ट्रीय भर्ती परीक्षा का निर्णय हुआ। भर्ती के लिए अनेक परीक्षाएं छात्रों को देनी पड़ती है, उसके एवज में एक ही परीक्षा हो, ये उस निर्णय का मूल अर्थ था। और मुझे खुशी है कि पूरे देश भर में उसका स्वागत हुआ। वो भर्ती के पहले का सुधार था, आज भर्ती के बाद का सुधार का निर्णय हुआ है। भर्ती होने के बाद विभिन्न कर्मचारी अधिकारी उनकी लगातार क्षमतावर्धन कैसे हो, कार्यक्षमता कैसे बढ़े, इसके बारे में और वो प्रभावी कैसे, कारगर कैसे साबित हो, इसके लिए क्षमतावर्धन का एक लगातार कार्यक्रम चलेगा और उसका नाम कर्मयोगी योजना है। तो ये एक बेहद ही महत्वपूर्ण सुधार है और 21वें सदी का सरकार के मानव संसाधन का सुधार का एक बहुत बड़ा ये सुधार कहला जाएगा और लोगों की अपेक्षाओं पर खरे उतरने वाले अधिकारी तैयार करना इसका मूल मकसद है। और उसके लिए आज जितेंद्र सिंह जी यहाँ आए, एक छोटा प्रेजेंटेशन भी होगा और उसके बाद वो एक्सप्लेन भी करेंगे। एक दूसरे निर्णय के तहत जम्मू कश्मीर के लिए एक राजभाषा विधेयक 2020 लाने का भी फैसला हुआ और उसमें उर्दू, कश्मीरी, डोगरी, हिंदी और इंग्लिश ये 5 ऑफिशियल लैंग्वेजेस रहेगी। इसकी ये लोगों की मांग पर इसका निर्माण हुआ है। बाकी इसके डिटेल्स आज नहीं बताऊंगा क्योंकि वो इंट्रोडक्शन होगा पार्लियामेंट में, तब आपको सबको प्रतियां मिलेगी, तब आप उस पर ज्यादा चर्चा कर सकते हो। आज 3 MOUs को भी मान्यता दी गई। जापान के साथ वस्त्रालय मंत्रालय का एक गठबंधन ये हुआ, MOU हुआ क्वालिटी इवैल्यूएशन के लिए। खनन मंत्रालय का फिनलैंड के साथ एक समझौता हुआ है और नवीन ऊर्जा रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी मिनिस्ट्री का डेनमार्क के साथ एक समझौता हुआ है। वो भी समझौते देश के लिए महत्वपूर्ण है। तो मैं और ज्यादा नहीं कहूंगा। टुडे कैबिनेट हैज decided very important big reform. It decided on one big reform in form of National Recruitment Agency in the last cabinet, which was appreciated by all over the country, one and all. Now, that was a pre-recruitment reform. Now this is a post-recruitment reform where the opportunity to officers and employees will be given to improve their own performance on a continuous basis, and where this will be called as a Karma Yogi scheme, and that there are many new methods, many new firsts in that which Jitendra Singh ji will explain, and there will be presentation also. But I can say that with this big reform, people will get the officers as they want to behave with them and as they want to be efficient. There are many good officers, but everybody can take benefit of this scheme and improve his own efficiency. This is the biggest human resources development program in the government, and That is the first decision. The second is we have decided to introduce in Parliament Jammu and Kashmir Official Languages Bill 2020, in which 5 languages, Urdu, Kashmiri, Dogri, Hindi and English, will be the official languages. This has been done based on the demand by the people. And the third is the 3 MOUs, one with Japan, Textile Ministry's quality evaluation method. With Finland, the Mining Ministry has done one MOU, and with Denmark, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy has done this. So, over to Jitendra Singh.
I invite Secretary DOP.
First, there will be presentation.
Thank you very much, sir. Respected dignitaries on the dais and friends, this is a presentation on the mission Karma Yogi for the nation. Let me start by telling you what is the vision of our government on how a civil servant should be. It is imagined that the civil servant of today, in order to meet the challenges of the world as well as the society, will have to be imaginative and innovative. उनको कल्पनाशील एवं नवाचारी होना पड़ेगा, प्रोएक्टिव एंड पोलाइट, सक्रिय एवं सरल होना पड़ेगा, पेशेवर एवं प्रगतिशील, दैट इज प्रोफेशनल एंड प्रोग्रेसिव, एनर्जेटिक एंड एनेबलिंग, ऊर्जावान एवं समर्थकारी, ट्रांसपेरेंट एंड टेक एनेबल्ड, पारदर्शी एवं तकनीकी युक्त, कंस्ट्रक्टिव एंड क्रिएटिव, रचनात्मक एवं सृजनात्मक. This is the vision of the civil servant of tomorrow. Next, please. Now, when we look at the present situation, there are diverse and fragmented training landscape. Now, this has led to an evaluation of departmental level thinking and has prevented shared understanding of India's development aspirations. It is also, there are inconsistencies in the training priorities, competency, and the pedagogy used by various training institutions in various departments and ministries. There's a lack of common platform and barriers to exchange of knowledge. There's a lack of lifelong and continuous learning environment. एक बार ट्रेनिंग हो जाता है, बीच बीच में कुछ कोर्सेज किए जाते हैं, लेकिन एक लाइफ लॉन्ग लर्निंग का जो माहौल है वो आज की स्थिति में मौजूद नहीं है. एंड देयर इज रिडंडेंसी एंड डुप्लीकेशन ऑफ एफर्ट्स. वही सब्जेक्ट जो पढ़ाया जाता है डिफरेंट ट्रेनिंग इंस्टीट्यूशंस में, वो अलग अलग तरीके से होता है और इसमें काफी रिडंडेंसी होता है, तो कॉमन शेयर्ड नॉलेज एंड फैकल्टी नहीं है. नेक्स्ट प्लीज. So this mission Karma Yogi looks at a new national architecture for civil services capacity building. It's a comprehensive reform of capacity building. It focuses not only on the individual capacity building, but on the institutional capacity building and also on the process. अर्थात at the व्यक्तिगत लेवल, संस्था के लेवल पे और प्रक्रिया के लेवल पे पूरा एक पूर्ण प्रोग्राम है जहां पे तीनों पे ध्यान दिया जा रहा है. इस पे विशेष बात यह है कि एट द टॉप देयर विल बी अ पीएम एचआर काउंसिल जो विल कंसिस्ट ऑफ नेशनल एंड इंटरनेशनल एक्सपर्ट्स अंडर द chairmanship of the Honorable Prime Minister, who will oversee the entire capacity building exercise. It is also envisaged that a separate commission will be set up. An expert body will be set up, which will be called the Capacity Building Commission, which will harmonize the standard training standards. It will create shared faculty and resources. It will also have a supervisory role over all training institutions so that there is a common understanding of India's aspirations, development goals, national priorities, etc. So there is a common approach to problems that face our country. It is also proposed to set up a SPV, a company, which will manage all the digital resources and also create a marketplace for content. The best content of the world will be available on a digital platform, and this will be made available across the government to all levels within the government. It is not restricted only to the higher civil services or to certain ranks or levels. It is open to anyone who enters government service, and they can onboard themselves and get the best of courses from across the world. Also, they would be trained on their own areas of domain. So, the मिशन कर्मयोगी का भविष्य के लिए सिविल सेवा का निर्माण सही दृष्टिकोण, कौशल और ज्ञान निहित नव भारत के सपनों के अनुरूप ये इसका गठन हुआ है। ये दक्षता आधारित क्षमता विकास पे बल देता है और भारत का अपना सिविल सेवा दक्षता ढांचा, a framework for competency based on our own needs and on our own experience. This is something unique. We are not borrowing the competency frameworks from others. It is our own, which will reflect our culture, our own needs and aspirations. A shared understanding of India's developmental aspirations, national programs and priorities. Very often, the multiplicity of departments, the multiplicity of agencies has made the civil services think in silos. They think departmentally. So an understanding of the national priorities is very much required so that the country's aspirations are met and the entire civil services work unitedly towards it. It will bring about accountability and transparency, and the scale is so huge that it could probably emerge as the largest civil service reform in the world in terms of spread and in terms of the depth of the reach. And what is the ultimate purpose of all this? It is basically to equip the civil servant with domain and functional competencies, which would be goal-driven and also imbibe in them behavioral competencies. ये नहीं कि only subject matter पे उनको competencies बढ़ाई जाएगी, लेकिन उनका जो behavior है और functionally उनको काम करने के लिए, अच्छी तरह से काम करने के लिए जो competencies उनमें, क्षमता उनमें होनी चाहिए, ये भी through the latest methods उनको दिया जाएगा. Ultimate aim being that the common man, his ease of living should improve, the ease of doing business should improve, and the gap between the citizen and the government should also come down, and we should be able to function at the highest level of efficiency to deliver these three major goals, that is ease of living, ease of doing business, and citizen-centric. Next, please. So there are key program components over here. The first is a shift from rule to role. So far, the training has been on the various rules and regulations. Now, each and every role in the government has been identified. Each role is divided into functions, activities, and each of these activities there is a competency level which is to be determined. So we are shifting, this is the fundamental shift from rule to role. So every role in the government, whether I am serving as an assistant section officer in charge of a particular section, what is my role there? What functions are to be performed in that role? To perform those functions, what competencies do I require? These competencies are further divided into what are the domain competencies that I require, what are the functional competencies I require, and what is the behavioral competencies that I have to acquire in order to function in that particular role. This is something which is a fundamental shift from the existing system. Secondly, we are making available a iGOT Karmayogi platform, which is a digital platform, which is completely Indian, and it would give the learning content from across the world and also our own learning content, so that we learn from the best of the best in the world, at the same time remain firmly rooted in our own culture. Enabling policy framework. Now this entire thing, since it is an electronic platform, it feeds back into the career profile of every civil servant, and therefore would actually help the civil servant in planning one's own career as well as progress in the career. HR management, we are thinking of delivering, as I said, the right competencies at behavioral and domain and functional level, and a continuous performance analysis. It is not that once in a while they are trained. It's a lifelong training process, and this data is continuously available and enriching the profile of the civil servant so that he can progress further in his career. There is a complete, credible and autonomous institutional framework which has been set up, which I'll come to a little bit later in my next slide. Next, please. So this is the institutional setup which has been proposed. At the top will be the Prime Minister's HR Council. This will consist of the Honorable Prime Minister, ministers of the Cabinet, plus international and national experts. There would be a coordination unit under the Cabinet Secretary, a capacity building commission, which would be an autonomous organization to look after the entire capacity building, and a special purpose vehicle to deliver, maintain and own the digital assets and also provide a marketplace for content. The total expenditure on this would be 510 crores over 5 years, and it has a unique subscription model where the SPV would be charging a minimum rate of about 431 per civil servant, and on this basis will set up this entire edifice. Next, please. So this is just details of what I mentioned. The Honorable Prime Minister would be the chairperson of the HR Council. Political leadership will be ministers and state chief ministers. The thought leadership, eminent national and global academicians, thought leaders, industry leaders, and also civil service leadership. And the main function of this would be it would be an apex body, driving and providing strategic directions to the program, approve and monitor civil service capacity building plans, review reports submitted by the Capacity Building Commission. Next, please. The Capacity Building Commission, this is a unique formulation where there would be an autonomous organization with a mandate of driving standardization, harmonization, and shared understanding of capacity building activities, create shared learning resources, define templates for annual capacity building plans, functional supervision over the central training institutions of the central government. All training institutions of the government will come under the functional supervision of the Commission. This would set norms for common mid-career training programs. Now, the mid-career training programs are largely within the services or within the departments. What is envisaged is cross-cutting immersions and training programs which would involve people from various services who will come together to understand about the common goals of the government, the common aspirations that are shared among everyone. Analyze learning-related data from the iGOT platform and prepare the annual State of Civil Service report. This is again a unique feature, that the state of the civil services, there would be a report which would be annually presented to the PM's HR Council. Next, please. The SPV, it would be a company set up under the Companies Act, a 100% government-owned company, with board of directors from all representative entities of the program, which means various services, their representative will be on the board of directors, and it would be self-sustaining on a subscription mode. They would own the digital assets on behalf of the government, operationalize a robust content ecosystem, manage assessment and certification. हर लेवल पे सर्टिफिकेशन होगा एंड उस सर्टिफिकेशन का प्रोफाइल में भी जोड़ा जाएगा because it's an electronic system where data will automatically be generated and goes into the, it is not only an annual performance appraisal but a continuous appraisal based on the kind of competency programs that the civil servant attends. And this would also be a platform which could be extended to states as well as other countries who would like to approach the SPV for its assistance. Next, please. On the monitoring and evaluation, we will have a Prime Minister's dashboard where key parameters will be monitored on a continuous basis. The capacity building plans will be evaluated, where annually it would be set by the Commission and presented to the PM HR Council. There would be an annual State of the Civil Services report and independent audits of the capacity building activities. Next, please. So the ultimate aim is to improve the professional delivery at all levels of government. It is open from an assistant section officer who enters the government up to the secretary to the Government of India. All would be on this platform and they could enhance their competencies for bettering their professional delivery. Professional growth. Now there are two types of competency building that we are thinking of. One would be self-driven. If I am interested in economics and I want to do courses from the London School of Economics or the Harvard Business School, I could enroll myself and guide and make my own career path. There would be another path which would be a guided path, that is, if I am serving as a deputy secretary looking after budget, then what I need to function in that role, that would be a guided path where I'd be told what are the resources I need, how do I function, how do I do my job better. So this would help in the personal growth, one, that is obvious, but the esteem and recognition that such a competency building will give each civil servant, that cannot be estimated in quantifiable terms. And finally, we would expect that this would be a self-driven building competencies and believing in attaining one's full potential. Every civil servant would try to reach for the highest levels of competency. Next, please. Sir? Those slides. So basically all this is, as I mentioned, for keeping in mind the citizen at the center. One, for service delivery, closing the gap between the citizen and the government, delivery based on roles, capacity at the cutting edge, right from the constable in the field to the Director General of Police, or from the Assistant Section Officer to the Secretary. All of them are basically being trained to upgrade their competence to serve the citizen who is at the center. Next, please. So this approach was tried during the COVID situation, where this electronic platform reached out to doctors, nurses, NCC cadets, NYK cadets, and almost 12 lakh users who completed about 17,000 courses. This was done in a period of just 2 to 3 months. We reached out on the mobile phones, on their laptops, on their tablets, and we could train them in various courses like ventilator management or even use of PPE kits, lots, and the field supervision. So many, we could just reach out within a period of 2 to 3 months, we could reach out to so much of, so this potential has been proven, and we hope that this platform will reach out to all government servants across different departments, across ranks, across levels, and we will be able to develop our a vision of citizen-centric governance with ease of living, ease of doing business, and reducing the gap between the citizen and the government in a very, very effective manner. Thank you very much.
थैंक यू वेरी मच सर. मैं अभी रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं मंत्री डॉक्टर जितेंद्र सिंह जी से. सर प्लीज.
धन्यवाद दत्वालिया जी. I think enough has already been said. So to put it very briefly, as the Honourable Minister for INB, Shri Prakash Javadekar ji, has announced two very landmark decisions taken by the Cabinet today. So I would just, in a single sentence about the other decision, thank the Honourable Prime Minister for having given the consent for both these decisions. The first one, as was mentioned by Shri Javadekar ji, the inclusion of Dogri, Hindi and Kashmiri in addition to the other two existing languages as official languages for the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. I would just suffice in saying that it is not only a fulfillment of a long-pending public demand of the region, but also in keeping with the spirit of equality which ushered after the 5th of August 2019. So having said that, coming to the Mission Karma Yogi, the other decision, also with the personal intervention and encouragement from Prime Minister, if you ask me to simply put it in a single sentence or try to translate into some kind of a definition, because you've already gone through a very elaborate PPT presentation, I would say Mission Karma Yogi is an endeavor to reincarnate a government servant into an ideal Karma Yogi to serve the nation, by enabling him to be creative, to be constructive, to be proactive, and technically empowered. And the endeavor is also to end the culture of working in silos, as was being mentioned, and to overcome the multiplicity of training curriculum which we have because of the institutions spread all over the country, with the introduction of a common platform for uniform realization of nation's vision, uniform realization of our shared aspirations, of our shared future goals. And this way, it will provide a mechanism for continuous capacity building, a constant updating of the talent pool, and also provide an equal opportunity of professional as well as personal growth and esteem of self-training for value addition at all levels. And I'll just take 2 minutes to make a reference which has a strong bearing to the making of this decision. This thought process had been going on for quite some time, but incidentally, it was on the 27th and 28th of October 2017 when Shri Narendra Modi came over to Lavasana Academy in Mussoorie, and it was after 42 years that Prime Minister of India was visiting the academy. So suddenly there was a realization among the faculty, among the probationers, among the trainees that the curriculum and the syllabi and the training programs were in the priority of the Prime Minister. And he stayed there for 2 days, interacted with the trainees, interacted with the faculty, and in the course of his interactions, what came out very significantly prominently was his emphasis on ending the culture of silos, to bring out a new work culture for the strengthening of government institutions and for the individual capacity building of each of the government functionaries, which would ultimately end up in the cumulative capacity building of the entire government machinery. And from there onwards, last year we first time experimented with this. We called this program Arambh, because that was the Arambh. So for the first time in Mussoorie, earlier we used to have just 3 or 4 services. We had about more than 20 services doing a common foundational course, which concluded in the month of October. And symbolically and also significantly, it concluded at Gujarat, at the site of the statue of Sardar Patel. And the valedictory program happened on the 31st of October, which is also Sardar Patel's day. and it was addressed by Prime Minister Modi. And thereafter, a lot of brainstorming has happened, and now we have arrived at this. As I said, this would be, because I won't take long, just to give you a comparative tabulation, I would say, कि पहले क्या था और अब क्या होगा. Earlier it was rule specific. नियम बने हुए थे, अधिकारी की नियुक्ति की जाती थी, सब वहां कर. Now it will be role specific, because you have all the data, and you have the अधिकारी who is also equipped to take up that role. दूसरा, earlier either there was no institutionalized capacity building mechanism और था भी तो अधूरा था. Now you have an institutionalized capacity building. पहले it was not a continuous process. कभी कभी बीच में ट्रेनिंग को कोई ऑफिसर चले जाते थे, कोई सीनियर ऑफिसर्स कभी विदेश भी चले जाते थे एक साथ. Now it's not like that. Now it's available to all officers at all levels. I would say it is now democratization of the updating and training in the services, across the services. पहले departments worked in silos, that has been eliminated. Mid-career पहले सिर्फ all India services के लिए हुआ करता था. Now it will be mandatory for all services, all officers at all levels. So that's a huge transformation. पहले क्या होता था कि training opportunity जैसे मैंने कहा only few at the top. Now it's for all. And of course ये जो digital platform अब बना है, this also will give you the options. आपको छुट्टी लेकर के you don't have to miss your office or become unavailable from your job, because it's available on your app, it's available on your tablet, it's available on your PC. You can keep educating yourself even while traveling, and then you can do self-assessment. You can, determine your score, and this is available in all languages. दिव्यांगों के लिए भी उसका अलग से प्रावधान है. और कहीं मान लीजिए कि कल ये प्रश्न उठता है कि भारत इतना विशाल देश है कि ये ऐसे क्षेत्र हैं जहां तक हो सकता है कोई भी सिग्नल ना पहुंचता हो, तो वी हैव ऑलरेडी पुट अक्रॉस a request to the INB ministry to have a Karma Yogi channel through DTH. So that part also is being taken care of. So I think this has been done with a lot of brainstorming, with repeated presentations with the Honorable Prime Minister, and with basic inputs coming from none less than the Prime Minister of India. And इससे दूसरी तरफ क्या लाभ होगा? एक तो अधिकारी को होगा, जैसे सेक्रेटरी डीओपीटी ने बताया, the appointing authorities will also have a ready-made data available with them. Suppose I want to make an appointment of an officer or a particular assignment, there will be no subjectivity involved, no extraneous considerations. I can just press the mouse, पता चलेगा कि इस काम के लिए कौन सा प्रोफाइल सबसे ज्यादा अनुकूल है, and straight away you can appoint the officer. Plus, real time evaluation, appraisal अपना भी होता रहेगा, जैसे हम annual APR करते हैं. Now it's already ready-made. So I think at the same time, from the point of view of citizen also, it's brought huge amount of transparency, pardarshita, accountability, jawab talbi, and it will be an opportunity to use the technology available to an optimum extent. जो हमारा अनुभव रहा गुजरात का, उसमें एक सप्ताह में we exposed these trainees to all the global experts, beginning the program with the head of the World Bank. And we also engaged universities which are specializing in futuristic trends. So that opportunity will also be available through that platform. I would conclude saying that because I would then like to listen to you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Friends, we can take questions now.
Thank you. There is no question. Good.
52, yeah.
सर चूंकि इस पे कोई सवाल नहीं पूछ रहा है सर, इसलिए मेरा दूसरा सवाल है.
नहीं.
दूसरे सवाल का उत्तर
प्रशांत, I think
नहीं,
you
चीन
focus on
को
the
लेकर सर कई सवाल उठ रहे
यहाँ
हैं.
नहीं देता हूँ.
फिर से इंकर्जन की बात हो रही है सर चीन बॉर्डर पे.
नहीं,
cabinet
इसलिए
specific.
डिफेंस के तरफ से इसके बारे में जानकारी लगातार दी जाती है.
78. Same. Okay.
सर एक सवाल इसको लेकर है कि आपने कहा कि अब हर लेवल के जो सरकारी कर्मचारी हैं उनके लिए ये अवसर उपलब्ध होगा, यानी हर समूह के वर्ग के कर्मचारी हैं उनको ट्रेनिंग के लिए मिड लेवल पर यह अवसर मिलेगा. चूंकि अभी तक तो ये था कि वरिष्ठ अधिकारी या फिर बड़ी सर्विस जो ऊपर की सर्विस है वो लोग मिड ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम पे जाते थे, तो थोड़ा वो उस बारे में.
तो जैसे आपने स्वयं कहा, मैंने उसको थोड़ा सा शिष्ट ढंग से कहा कि इट्स ए डेमोक्रेटाइजेशन ऑफ द ट्रेनिंग प्रोसेस। जो बात आपकी बात से निकलती है बिटवीन दी लाइंस कि ऐसा नहीं रहेगा कि कुछ उच्च अधिकारी इस अवसर का फायदा लेते रहेंगे, और ये मिड करियर भी सबके लिए रहेगा और ये अपॉर्चुनिटी भी सबके लिए रहेगी एंड एट ऑल लेवल्स एंड ऑल सर्विसेज। पहले ये टू ऐड टू व्हाट यू सेड, आपकी बात में भी जोड़ देंगे, पहले मात्र ऑल इंडिया सर्विसेज तक ही ये सीमित था, अब ये सभी सर्विसेज में।
260 रविंद्र कुमार।
प्रकाश जी या जितेंद्र साहब जो भी देना चाहें, इधर से इधर लेफ्ट साइड जो भी जवाब देना चाहें सर। एक तो है कि इसी संबंधित की इसमें जो परिषद बना है प्रधानमंत्री का अलावा कई मुख्यमंत्रियों को भी रखा गया, उसका पर्पस क्या है? क्या इस ट्रेनिंग को राज्यों में भी लागू किया जाएगा, राज्य के कर्मचारियों को भी इसमें सम्मिलित किया जाएगा? और चूंकि पूरा देश एक होगा तो इसी से रिलेटेड आप दोनों से दूसरा सवाल है कि पूरा देश एक है और चाहता है कि चीन को पूरा जवाब दिया जाए। जो चीन इसको लेकर जो हमने स्ट्रेटेजिक एक पॉइंट पर हम पहुंचे हुए हैं और चीन बार बार इंकर्जन करने की कोशिश कर रहा है, उसको उस पर प्रकाश जी या जितेंद्र साहब जो भी जवाब देना चाहें दोनों सवालों का सर।
ये बड़ा, पहले तो मुझे आपकी शैली की सराहना करनी है कि आपने सोचा कि आप चीन बोलेंगे तो सवाल रुक जाएगा, तो आप घुमा के आए चीन। सो दिस इज समथिंग वी हैव टू लर्न ऑल ऑफ अस कनेक्टेड विद द मीडिया। अभी जो पहला प्रश्न दूसरे का मेरे पास मैंडेट नहीं है, वो प्रकाश जी उस पर प्रकाश डालेंगे। जहां तक मेरा पहला है, उसमें हमने एक मल्टी टियर स्ट्रक्चर बनाया है, जैसे बताने का प्रयास कर रहे थे हमारे सेक्रेटरी डीओपीटी साहब। पहले यह पीएम काउंसिल जो एक अम्ब्रेला काउंसिल रहेगी, ताकि उसमें यूनिफॉर्मिटी भी रहे और एक समानता रहे। उसमें स्वाभाविक है प्रधानमंत्री उसको हेड करेंगे, उसके नीचे मुख्यमंत्री भी रहेंगे और केंद्रीय मंत्री परिषद से भी कुछ मंत्री उसके सदस्य हो सकते हैं। इसके अतिरिक्त एक्सपर्ट विशेषज्ञ जो वहां पर समझा जाए कि जिनकी आवश्यकता रहेगी। इसी प्रकार एक कैबिनेट सेक्रेटेरिएट में कोऑर्डिनेशन कमेटी होगी, क्योंकि सारी प्रदेशों और यूनियन टेरिटरीज का समन्वय बनाने के लिए भी, क्योंकि ये एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव एक रिफॉर्म है। और तीसरा जो महत्वपूर्ण है वो है कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग काउंसिल, जिसमें विशेषज्ञ एक्सपर्ट्स, ग्लोबल एक्सपर्ट्स, हर विषय को लेकर के, हर विभाग को, हर शोबे को लेकर के, ताकि एक पूल भी बनाया जाए। बिकॉज इसका जो कंटेंट है इस प्लेटफॉर्म का, दैट ऑल्सो विल बी कॉन्स्टेंटली अंडरगोइंग क्यूरेशन। जैसे आप, सो इट विल बी क्यूरेशन ऑफ कंटेंट ऑल्सो, तो अपडेटिंग भी होता रहेगा उसका साथ साथ, कीपिंग द यूनिवर्सल द ग्लोबल स्टैंडर्ड्स इन द माइंड। और आपने जैसे कहा कि प्रदेशों को भी ये इसका उपयोग करने का पूरा अधिकार रहेगा, और हमारी अपेक्षा भी ऐसी है।
समाचार पत्र और लगभग सभी चैनल बहुत विस्तार से सीमा पर हो रही घटनाओं का वर्णन कर रहे हैं और पूरे देश का मूड बता रहे हैं।
17 just wait for your turn please.
Sir, Shishir here from Hindu Business Line. Sir, if I understand correctly, there are rules under fundamental rules 56J and 48I, which takes a review of officers and employee who have reached the age of 50. So, as you talked about appraisal under this policy, will that appraisal be also be some kind of component from the fundamental rules?
This is simply an upgradation and innovation in the mechanism, and you are using a more technology savvy mechanism. Appraisal after appraisal, कि मैं देखने में गोरा हूं कि काला हूं, वो वैसा ही रहेगा। सिर्फ ये कि पहले देखने वाले की सब्जेक्टिविटी हुआ करती थी, अब वो नहीं होगी। अब कंप्यूटर उसकी तस्वीर लेकर के डिसाइड करेगा। It's just like that. That's the simile I am drawing. So it's a more scientifically devised objective appraisal, and also real time, जैसे डैशबोर्ड लगा हुआ है।
Last question 154.
सर एक चीज थोड़ा सा फिर से क्लियर कर दीजिए कि क्या किसी भी लेवल के कर्मचारी इस प्रोग्राम्स में मिशन कर्मयोगी में इनरोल हो सकेंगे? और दूसरा सवाल ये कि क्या ये फ्री रहेगा या कुछ आप उसमें चार्ज करेंगे? और प्रकाश जी से एक सवाल ये भी है कि क्या कैबिनेट की बैठक में चीन को लेकर कुछ भी चर्चा हुई?
अब जहां तक आपके पहले भाग का संबंध है, ये आपने अच्छा किया कि शायद मुझे लग रहा है छूट गया इनकी प्रेजेंटेशन में से भी। इसमें बड़ी नॉमिनल सा फी है, 432 रुपए पर लर्नर के। क्या वो एक दिन में लेस देन 2 रुपये पर डे आता है? अब उसकी वो भी गवर्नमेंट देगी, जिसका कर्मचारी होगा या जो जिस विभाग से आएगा, एंड दैट टू इज अ वेरी नॉमिनल फी जस्ट टू सस्टेन दैट मैकेनिज्म। और दूसरा उनका जो बजट रहेगा 10 साल का। और जो आपने उससे पहले पूछा कि हाँ, हर स्तर का अधिकारी किसी भी सर्विसेज से हो वो इसमें इसका लाभ लेने के लिए अधिकारी होगा।
Okay. 99, yeah, last question.
Parrikar ji, in the coming few weeks, you're going to have the parliament session of which is going to happen. Now, a lot of MPs have said that the government is trying to stifle voices by not allowing question hour and zero hour in particular the question hour.
एक विशेष असाधारण स्थिति में इस बार का संसद सत्र हो रहा है। सांसदीय कार्य मंत्री सभी पार्टियों के संपर्क में है।